Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. And usually it's been bright and sunny, but not today. But it will continue to be bright for an area here. We have Savannah Gardens Crescent Drive groundbreaking ceremony here at Savannah Gardens. You know, 4 new houses will go up right where we are standing, and it will continue to add to this major complex. I just wanted to give you all just a little bit of history on this place. The extended area was called Strathmore, and it was for Strathmore Estates. It was an apartment complex. More than 2 decades ago, 2005, I know Israel Small used to be the city manager here at City of Savannah. He'll know a lot about this. Negotiations began for Savannah Gardens, and certainly it gave a fresh start to this entire region here on the east side of Savannah. 6 phases, 6 apartment phases later, we are in a very beautiful area with a lot of homes around it, single-family homes. The city, CHSA, and Mercy Housing pumped in a lot of time, effort, and a lot of money to this. And I found an old quote in the newspaper from a few years back. When you make that type of investment, people who do bad things just don't want to hang around. Our Housing Services Director, Martin Freddy, said that to the newspaper article, and I think that is what we certainly see around here. Revitalization, crime numbers going down, and residents are just proud to call this area their home. CHSA Development will provide the lots here, and Family Promise will provide the families. A lot of special guests with us today, starting with our Mayor Van Johnson is here, along with the Alderwoman of this district, Linda Wilder-Bryan. I see Nick Palumbo behind us, District 4 representing. Our City Manager, Jay Melder, just in time. Our Assistant City Manager, Heath Lloyd, is with us. Chief Community Services Officer, Taffany Young. I see Martin Freddy. Martin, you were just over there. Martin, raise your hand. He's our Housing Director. Anita Smith-Dixon is the Executive Director of Community Housing Services Agency, Inc. Deborah White is the CHSA Inc. as well, the chairwoman. CHSA Development President Israel Small. You'll hear from him in a few moments. He was also the co-chair of the Housing Savannah Task Force from the mayor. Jen Darcy, the Executive Director of Chatham Savannah Authority for the Homeless. And Willie Dasher Construction. Willie, raise your hand. He's done a lot of work around here, and Willie provided us with the Kubota B21 today. So let's start things off with our Mayor Van Johnson.
Thank you. Thank you and good afternoon. I promise you, and I'm asking all speakers, the one lesson our city manager will learn is that when the sky looks like this and the wind starts flowing, y'all know what that means, right? Rain. So we're going to be quick. I am so glad to be here on the east side in the 3rd District with these amazing public servants to celebrate the groundbreaking of these new homes at Savannah Gardens. I want to thank you all for your work, whatever role you played in the midst of all of this. As Ken said, my friend and certainly one of my mentors and one of my employees, Israel Small, Savannah Gardens began under his watch when he was an assistant city manager some years ago. And after he retired in 2007, I could not allow Israel Small to remain on the sidelines in a rocking chair enjoying retirement. I asked him, I begged him, I pleaded with him, and he finally consented to allow me to appoint him to serve as a co-chair of our Housing Savannah Task Force alongside Brent Grant. And collectively, they led the task force to research Savannah's housing affordability issues and develop Savannah's very first Housing Savannah Action Plan that the City Council has committed to. And this roadmap provides our community with the sound and solid foundation to build sustainable, everybody say sustainable, housing investments for residents overcoming socioeconomic challenges. Today, Israel also serves as the president of the Community Housing Services Agency Development Incorporated, an organization that master develops the Savannah Gardens community and is responsible for providing the vacant lots that we will break ground on today. It is people like Israel, and I want to say it because I'm appreciative of him, and I'll have an opportunity to thank him publicly for the work that he did before we got to this point. The work that we did in West Savannah, those lots there when we were talking about infill housing and talking about housing affordability, well before we got to this point, Israel Small was on the lead of that. Y'all give him a big round of applause, and I want to thank him. And then, of course, we have city staff that have already been mentioned. Martin, Freddie, I see here, our community partners for their dedicated time, effort, and so much energy that they use to make days like today possible. So I'm looking forward to today and many more to come. We have to make sure that housing in Savannah is affordable. We have to make sure it's accessible, and we have to make sure it's available. And the city of Savannah has committed Taffy to making sure we're doing our part to make sure all three happens in this city. God bless you all. Again, great day, and let's get before the rain gets.
Thank you, Mayor. The 3rd District here, Linda Wilder Bryan, please come up. And after you, immediately, Jay Melder, our city manager, will come up.
Linda! Go, Linda! Watch God be God.
Woo! Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. It's just a pleasure to stand in front of all of my friends and people who believe. Mr. Smalls, Leaving Footprints. Been 2 years that I've served on City Council. And I don't know where to start at, but I can tell you this is I can't even begin to tell y'all how grateful I am for this opportunity. You know, when we went to Cumming Street and we saw all of the blessings that was happening in West Savannah, you have to be patient. We waited our turn for the 3rd District. Let me just say 3rd District. And let me just thank Mr. Freddie and Anita Smith-Dixon and Katrina Bostic. I wanted to say family promise because this is a promise. This is a footstep. This is a legacy. I grew up 3 blocks over. My mom, who is 90 years old, could not be here, but every time she sees y'all on TV, she's singing hallelujah because it shows the good work that her daughter is doing here in Savannah in remembrance of a stolen son. And so I didn't get here by myself. Every last one of you have touched Linda Wilder Bryan. I've learned some stuff, made some mistakes, but I own everything that I do. And I'm owning this because this is real. And we get to do some stuff in real time. In real time. Let me just say real time. I'm thankful for a new city manager, Mr. Melder, who we unanimously voted for. I'm just thankful for CHSA. It's not a tongue twister, but it's twisted my heart to say that I have a partnership with 2 amazing boss women, Ms. Taffany Young and her staff, Carrie Reed, Mr. Freddie. Mr. Freddie could have been going a long time ago. But we got $19.5 million to let Mr. Have y'all seen those videos where you, and I'm long-winded, y'all let me have this. They're gonna cut this, but y'all gonna hear this, right? So Mr. Freddie has been doing this stuff and walking around and leaving footprints, but I want Mr. Freddie to get in the biggest king-size bed and put some money all around him and do like the rappers do, because he gonna leave some footprints not only in the 3rd District, he's already did that in the 1st District, he's gonna do it in the 2nd, the 4th, the 5th, and we get to smell and touch what walking out talk. And so when my mayor, my boss, my friend who I've been knowing, y'all got to see Van in a uniform too, because he's a certified post officer. So he wears many hats. But what he allows us to do on this city council is to learn and to grow and to network and be the best that you can. And so I'm learning to be the best that I can. Lawrence's death did not leave us bitter. It made us better. So I understand what my assignment is. And my assignment, and I've been saying this from day one, is to leave some footprints that are meaningful, to do as much as I can for as many people as I can, as often as I can. And I'm just so awestruck that I'm here with Earlene Davis and all these wonderful people who really know what they're doing. And Mr. Smalls, he said that we didn't remember him, but who don't remember Mr. Smalls? You know, and who don't remember all the good things that people who are connected by good works? And so we're going to continue to watch God be God. I've been saying that all of my life, but it means more now because I get to stand in front of my maker and say, I've been a good servant. I surround myself by other good servants, and I'm just so happy to be 3 blocks and know that I can walk over here anytime and know the fruits of my labor My connection with God and faith has stood during this pandemic. And if the pandemic has not taught us to be better people, then nothing will. And so I'm surrounding myself with people who get a vision of what Savannah is. And the Savannah is that we care about people. We care about people. So thank y'all. The mayor's shaking his head. That means I got to hurry up and move. I'm obedient.
Do you?
Okay, don't say that because I'll talk 5 more minutes. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all of the media who continues to say that we really are in this together. And I'm so thankful for Miss Fred and Dorcas and Tina, my sister-in-law, and my other sister-in-law, Sheila. And I'm gonna hurry up because God says hurry up. God is speaking now. Thank y'all. It's amazing grace. Hallelujah. Y'all keep watching God be God in LB4. Thank you so much.
It feels good. It feels good. A couple months ago, Martin and Taffney and I had the opportunity to come by this site with Alderwoman Linda Wilder-Bryan and tell her what we thought we could do here. And I hope I'm not sharing too much, but she started to cry. It was joyful, and it feels good, and I'll tell you why it feels good, because it feels good to know that in a few months this is going to be a place where families get a fresh start, where families get a place to have dignity, have security, have safety, get to start planning about the future of their lives and stop worrying about the day-to-day survival that too many families and households in Savannah and across the country have to deal with because of housing insecurity and homelessness, and that's why it feels good. In my career, I've had the great opportunity to be able to break ground and cut ribbon on more than a few projects like this. And as a matter of fact, the first groundbreaking I was a part of for a new facility to serve families who were experiencing homelessness was many years ago in Ward 4 in Washington, D.C., and I still have that shovel in my office. It's right by my desk. I keep it there not to remind myself of the cool things that I've been a part of, but to remind myself that this is what public service is about, that I have the opportunity and the power and the responsibility to do big things that mean the most for families who rely on government to do things well. And this is government doing things well. And I am really honored to be a part of Team Savannah, to be a part of the vision of the mayor and council, to be able to work on and implement their vision, to be able to give resources to people like Martin and Freddie who've been doing this work here for a number of years, to work with Taffney and Heath and Brett and everybody on Team Savannah to make these things a reality. And it's more than Team Savannah. We already talked about Anita and her team and Katrina and Family Promise, who will be running this program here. We've got Jen Darcy at the Homeless Authority. We've got Bryn and Israel Smalls. It takes a community to be able to provide a true community service. So I'm very, very proud. It feels good. It feels good. And we're going to do more of these things because it feels good and it is good. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. A couple more speakers we have for you today, and two that are very involved in this project. Of course, you heard a lot about Israel Small. He will come up and say a few words. Israel Small is with CHSA Development, Inc. They will provide the land. And then, of course, Family Promise will fill these houses with some families and have that fresh start. Katrina Bostic. So first, Israel Small. After Israel, Miss Katrina Bostic.
Thank you very much. I don't think I need to say anything. I just need to let all these accolades soak in today. Thank you so much for the recognition. First of all, I'd like to recognize that there are members of the CHSA Development, Inc. and CHSA present. Any board members, please raise your hand, because these individuals are working hard also in doing that. Thank you. Thank you. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that we don't do these things alone. Even though I was assistant city manager when we did the initial work for this project here, there are a lot of other dedicated staff members, and they've been mentioned, but I have to mention them also because they certainly made me look good over the years that I was here. When I arrived here in Savannah back in 1998, Taffany Young was already here. Matter of fact, she was the acting assistant city manager at that particular time. And she's still here doing a fantastic job. I just want to recognize Taffany. And then in addition to that, what you probably don't know is that Martin Freddie worked with me in Macon, Georgia. And so I stole him and brought him to Savannah when I came here.
You did good.
They still haven't forgiven me in Macon for doing that, but do that. But we have a lot of dedicated people here. I've been on the International City Management Association board for 3 years and got a chance to travel across the country and see the various kinds of affordable housing projects. And I can say to you that I have found none better than what's going on here in Savannah. You have a dedicated staff of people, and we just talked about Anita Dixon here. We have Luke Gardner, somebody your name you don't mention, but these people in the background, where's Luke at? But these people have been here for years and years. I've been retired for 15 years, and you will see how long this project started before I retired. And you can see how long take these projects to come to fruition. But it is great. I have a cheat sheet here, Mr. Mayor, and I'm not going to read everything on my cheat sheet because I know that the weather is a little incumbent. We don't want to make sure of that. But I want to talk about the fact that we're talking about building 6 houses here that will be utilized by Family Promise. And Ms. Bostic is here with us today, and she'll speak to that. But 3 of these houses are 4-bedroom houses. One of the houses have 3 bedrooms, and all of them will have 2 bedrooms. Mr. Dasher, who you've talked about, will be the contractor for these. These houses, and I want you to realize that the cost of housing has gone up tremendously. Tremendously. I was kidding around when I was talking with Martin sometime about it, when we talking about construction costs. But I said, gee whiz, these houses we're building here now cost more than my house and I purchased back then, a lot more. But these houses are expensive. So we're talking about the development cost here of about $190,000 per house for here. Now, the average development cost per house is about $210,000. Now, for the 4 of these houses that will be built here, we talked about $840,000 for the first 4 houses that will be built here on this site. Now, that takes a lot of creative finance to be able to have people to afford these finances, and I think you need to know that you have the staff to do that. They have been able to come up with a plan so that these houses are affordable. So I mention that because I don't want these numbers to frighten you. But we are in a great place here in Savannah. We are one of the leading cities in the nation. And thanks to Mr. Melder City Council for giving the funding for this housing. And CHSA Development Inc. is very gracious to partner with the city in terms of being able to do the development for this project. I thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing this whole project come to fruition. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Woo-hoo, Katrina!
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I want to thank my staff who really do the hard work, and they do the heavy lift. And my board of directors for giving us the opportunity and a vision to move forward with this project. Our partners are what makes things happen in this community. We know that homelessness and housing is a heavy lift, and in order for us to change the lives of the individuals that we're working with, it's going to take a community. And this is where it starts. This is where we come together as community and build partnerships to improve the lives of the individuals that we're working with. So I'm excited to partner with all of these amazing organizations to change the lives of the children with families that we will be serving in these properties, to help them get to a place to where they are stable and they have a strong foundation to change the lives of the children that they have. So again, I thank this community for partnering with Family Promise, for the opportunity to really change the lives of the families that we're working with. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just want to take a quick moment of personal privilege. I saw Audrey King with Georgia Power here. Somebody got to power these houses, and so Georgia Power is a great partner to us in a variety of ways. And then finally, this is what the city is able to do with committed partners. There's room at our table for people to help. So our county, our other municipalities, there are opportunities for you to get involved with this, because affordable housing is an issue for our region, not just for the city of Savannah. We all have to be engaged in this, and so there are all roles that we can play, and let's find ways to be able to work together to be able to do this for our region. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. To the media, if you want any interviews, obviously CHSA Development, CHSA Inc., and Family Promise, they're all here. We can set you up with any of the interviews. So now we will, well, turn the shovels.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah! Watch God be God.
Let's do it again. For the 3rd district, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, so you gotta do
And
one
one more
more.
time. We gotta do one more.
Yeah.
You gotta go through 2 to get to 3.
All right, 1.
2, 3.
How you doing all right? When I say HR got me busy, HR be busy. You want to be out at, you want to be an info at 1 o'clock. I'm trying to go there. That's where I'm heading.